Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited because I'm doing another cocktail conversation. It's been a hot minute since I've done this, and I'm even more excited because Danielle Wiebe from Vancity Business Babes is joining me today, which is amazing. If you're joining me on YouTube for the first time, this is the show where we have a stiff drink and an amazing conversation. Happy hour. I'm loving this. We're here on a yacht. Pacific Yacht Charters is hosting us today. They've made us some amazing cocktails. This is a Giffard.
Yes, I think that's what she said. Cheers.
Thank you, Pacific Yacht Charters, for having us here.
Yes.
I gotta take a sip of this. I actually drink during these cocktail conversations.
Oh, that's really good.
It's so
really
good.
good.
It's so good. Okay, so to get started, for those of my audience or on my YouTube channel who might not know who you are, can you take a minute to tell us about who you are and what you do and what your business is?
Yeah, so my name is Danielle Wiebe and I'm the founder of Vancity Business Babes. So we're a network of business women who come together twice a month now, and we do little workshops and we do networking nights and panel nights. And actually Karin was on one of our panels, so that was really fun when you came to speak for us.
I've been keeping up with what she's been doing, and I just feel like you have done such an amazing job of growing a community of really supportive entrepreneurial women.
Thank you.
Take us back for a second and tell me how you even got started in business.
Kind of starting off when I was in university, I studied business. I've always been super, super passionate about business.
And is there a reason why? Or was this like,
you know
are your parents entrepreneurs?
Okay, kind of. So yes,
okay.
Kind of growing up, my mom was always involved in business. She didn't have her own business until recently. And actually my Opa, which is my grandpa, he started a business when he moved over from Holland.
Okay.
And so I guess it's kind of in my roots. But I don't know what it was that drew me to business right away.
So what was your first business in university?
I think it was my third year university. It was in the summer and I was kind of looking for a job and I couldn't really find anything. I was really passionate about looking into kind of like online business and social media, and then for some reason our professors didn't really adapt that right away. They kind of weren't teaching us about social media, so I decided to kind of teach myself a little bit.
Which is the best way to learn, I think.
So that was when I decided, I started working for a company. Didn't really work out because it wasn't really the job description that I signed up for. Yeah. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start my own thing.
So you just decided to take the risk just like that?
Yeah, so I partnered up with a friend of mine and we actually did like a social media and website business.
Okay.
And so we would work with clients and I would do their social media marketing and she would do the website side.
And this is while you're in university?
Yes.
So how were you hustling clients?
Honestly, well, okay, first of all, I would this is hilarious. So I would actually look on Craigslist and I would look for people that were looking for websites. And then I would reach out to them.
So smart.
I would reach out to them and I'd be like, hey, would you want to set up a meeting with us? We can help you with your social media marketing. And it kind of started there. And then we started kind of just I
feel like that is very intuitively smart because you're already going to where people want to buy.
Yeah, we kind of started there and then I started getting a little more creative and I would kind of Google different people with different websites, and we kind of had a niche. We wanted to work with women to own businesses, and then we would find ones that maybe didn't look like they were doing a great job with social media marketing, so we would kind of contact them and do that. And
I've done lots of odd things like that. I've talked in my story before, I sold chocolate bars when I was elementary school. I used to paint when I was in university, so I would sell my paintings. I would throw parties in high school, lots of little entrepreneurial type things.
Yeah.
Ooh. Thank you. This looks good.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Enjoy. So going back to your start and when you graduated, that was the moment when you decided, or not the moment I should say, but that's when you decided that, okay, now you're going to do this and launch your own business. Is that right?
Yes. So it wasn't Vancity Business Babes right away. So I decided that I wanted to network and get to know people, and also get to know like what type of businesses are out there.
Yeah.
So I didn't really necessarily know what my options were. And
see,
so,
I find this really
yeah.
interesting that you weren't in a position where you're like, okay, I really love art, or I really
Right.
love shoes, or I really love painting, and that's what I want to
Yeah.
build a business around. You kind of went the other way and were like, I know I want to start a business, I just don't know what that is
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I didn't really necessarily know, and I had a lot of things that I was passionate about, but I didn't really know kind of what that would look like as a business. And so I actually started working full-time for my mom's business, and so that was
Okay.
a really cool opportunity because I actually helped her like with the growth of her business, and it kind of gave me sort of like a cushion while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I also partnered up with a health and wellness company and started doing that for a business as well, and kind of getting my feet wet into entrepreneurship again.
As you're telling me
Yeah.
this story too, it sort of is reminding me so much, or what I'm hearing is that as soon as you go down a path,
Yeah.
as scary as it might be, but if you're pursuing something that you really want to do,
Yes.
I do feel like the universe starts to roll out the red carpet and opportunities come about.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone that's thinking about starting their own business, but you're scared to do it, I would almost say, take the leap and do it, because opportunities will come up, especially if you're doing it really authentically and for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I totally believe opportunities will start to come up.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily know what it's going to look like right away.
And it evolves.
Yeah, totally.
It totally evolves. Like
Yeah.
when I started House of Bohn, which was over 8 years
Yeah.
ago, it was completely different than it is today.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I think every business goes through an evolution.
Totally. So then I was networking and kind of like getting to know people, and really kind of started having this passion for like personal development. And so I started, like listening to audios, and
Yeah, I love that.
And just sort of watching YouTube clips
Yeah.
and like just getting really inspired.
On that note, when you say that you were really into personal development,
Yes.
did it click that you wanted to build a business around that? Or
Not necessarily right away.
not
no.
right away? Okay.
No, it
and
was
is that how
more-
you feel now?
Well, it's about personal development and professional development.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good mix of both.
And do you feel
Yeah.
like networking has been a skill that you've built then?
Yeah, and it's still building.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you ever totally master it. Like it's something
Yeah.
that you're always kind of working on.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, "Oh, I've always wanted to come to one of your events, but I'm a little bit too nervous. Like I don't
Right.
know." But like that's how everyone is coming into the room. Everyone
sure.
is coming to the room, and no one really
Yes.
knows anyone.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
the only way that you're going to start to know people is if you consistently start showing up.
Yeah, that's like a great piece of advice
Yeah.
for people is just, the only way that you're going to get better at it is if you keep showing up.
Yeah,
I had to say, I've
absolutely.
told this story before about cold calling for me, and I feel like I'm pretty good at sales now,
Yeah.
but I hated cold calling.
Yeah.
I would sweat, my heart would race.
Yeah.
But I had to do it in order to build my business, and like networking, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
just a muscle that you can train and you can build, and you get better as time goes on, and the more that you show up and make yourself do it, the better you
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much value in just acting.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long ago was your first event?
I say that we launched in 2015 because that's when I started the social media, and I actually created the name Vancity Business Babes, and we did all our branding, but really it was the fall of 2014 when we had our very first event. I think it was in like September, October.
Okay.
And so we had like a small little event, and then, the people there were like, "Oh, are you going to do something next month?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Okay.
"Okay." So we did it again, and then they're like, "Okay, what's next month? Like, what's the next thing?" And so I started a meetup group, and I just was like, okay, this is something that's needed. Like people are wanting
People
this.
are asking for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are wanting to connect. And I also think the big thing was because when I was going to all these networking events, I never really felt like I connected super well with like the community in there. And I kind of felt like for me, the way that I like to network is like building the relationship first.
sure.
Having a good time, having fun, maybe learning a little bit, but like
For sure.
building that like strong relationship
It's
and
the
then
same,
doing business.
I feel the
So,
same way about networking.
yeah.
Like networking is a funny word to me because networking, sometimes I think there's this conception that you're gonna go into a room and close something, like
Yeah.
close a relationship, but I don't understand how you could
No.
possibly do that, and I much rather prefer to think about networking as just relationship building.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you go into it as relationship building where it is like a give and take. It's not really just about acquisition, which I feel if you go into your room and you're planning on networking and it's all about acquisition, I feel like you'd leave every single event disappointed.
Totally. And I think it's really hard when you're starting your business because you're like, okay, well, you kind of have the scarcity mentality of like, the next person I meet has to be my client or else my business is going to fail or like whatever.
For sure.
But once you start, building your business over and over again, you start to realize that like business takes time to build. Like you can't build a business overnight. It's impossible. And so you kind of have to like give yourself like a certain amount of time in order to like build those relationships and build them strong. Because I think when I was starting, I probably made lots of mistakes like that. Like just
the
not
expectation that it's going to happen so fast.
Yeah, and just like letting go of the expectation and just realizing, the relationships that you build today nothing might come out of it, but then maybe 3 years down the line,
for sure,
it'll be like the best person that you could ever met.
Totally.
And you'll have your biggest, breakthrough from it or whatever.
Yeah, I can agree more. When I do, and I've talked about this before too, about business development, and when I go into business development, if I'm actively pursuing a client and building a relationship, I don't have the expectation that they're going to turn into a client for at least 2 years, if not 3.
Yeah.
Because it just takes that much time.
Exactly.
So with Vancity Business Babes then, would you say that the business model is primarily events? Is that for you?
Primarily events, yeah.
Okay. And then with the demographic, obviously it's women, and do you speak to a lot of startup entrepreneurs?
Yeah, you know what, there's quite a big range.
Okay.
I always try to figure out like, who is like, our ideal person.
Who is it? Yeah.
Who is it? And the most common, I guess, woman that comes to our event is someone who has either just started their business and or has just left their full-time job to pursue their business full-time. So people who are kind of maybe switching
making
up a little bit. Making a transition in their business. We see those people come out a little bit more because they're like, okay, I have like a fresh perspective.
This is great. So for those of you who are watching, and I guess you're launching a business, transitioning, obviously Vancity Business Babes is a great resource, and we'll put all the Danielle's info down below so you can find her. I was going to ask on that note, just advice or a couple of tips that you could give to women based on what you've seen over and over and over again, who are starting a business or who are transitioning into a new business. Yeah,
so it's funny, I wasn't talking about this as much as I think I should have been, but I didn't want it to sound like self-promotion or anything like that. No. But I think like you need to have community, like you really do. And it doesn't matter if, it's within our community or a different community, or you want to start your own community or kind of create your own friendship of women or men or whoever that have their own businesses. And because you need a community to build your business. Yeah. Like there's no other way to put it. And I love social media. I love it. And I'm all about building your social media platform, building your personal brand. But I think some people miss the in-person part of it. And it's so important because people want to work with you so much more if they've met you in person, they know your personality, and they actually like connect with you.
Okay, this is so good. I've got so much that I want to talk about with community. Before we go any further, okay, we're gonna break.
Okay, sounds
so that we can drink and eat, and then we're gonna do a rapid fire.
Okay.
I like that you guys are actually drinking and eating.
It's so good.
It's just like a prompt.
I'm gonna have one more of these.
Yeah, have one more of those.
It's good.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the first time we're doing this. I just added a question on the fly.
Okay.
Are you a texter or a phoner?
Texter.
Really? I like phone. Okay, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee for sure. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I wish I was a morning person, but night owl.
A night owl?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All my ideas come at like 1 or 2 in the morning. It's so frustrating.
I feel like I'm like a 24-hour person. Like I never sleep. What's one thing in your purse that you can't live without?
Lip gloss.
Same. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first app that you open up? Instagram, obviously.
I know.
Your home office is on fire. What's the one thing that you would run out the door with?
Oh my goodness.
Quick.
Okay.
10-second rule.
I like her style magazine.
Oh, wow.
That'll
okay.
make her.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. I would run out with Oscar.
I don't really keep anything like very important in my office.
In your home office?
That's the thing. Like there's nothing that important
Let it burn.
there.
Let it burn. Okay,
I don't
that's
think
good.
I need to take anything.
Heels or sneakers?
Probably sneakers.
heels. Who is your biggest inspiration or role model?
Oh my goodness.
Or one of?
Okay, one of, I would say more recently, Brene Brown.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
she's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say recently for me would be Kelly Wearstler. She's a really well-known interior designer. You have 1 hour to spare. Do you work out or sleep?
Sleep.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I'd work out, but I think it's sleep.
I wish that I would work out, but I would
You know, I'm
sleep.
trying to get back into a workout routine. So today it would be workout.
Workout.
But, okay, and
These
then
are not all things I'm proud of, by the way.
well, okay, going in a nice segue into the next question. What's your proudest accomplishment to date?
Oh, okay. I would maybe say being asked to speak at my university that I graduated from.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I felt honored to be asked.
To be there. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. I think building my business
Yeah,
would be, yeah.
yeah.
It's the grind. So we're going to go back to community because that is like
Yeah.
the number one reason why I wanted to interview you and what I wanted to talk about. You've just said that building a community is crucial for building a business. I could not agree more. And I'm just curious to know, when you say building a community, like what does that even mean to
Yeah.
you?
So I think it can start really small. I think people kind of get overwhelmed if they start a business. They're like, I don't know, like none of my friends are in business. I have zero community. That's where I was at about 3 years ago.
Has this been an insight that you've learned along the way?
It's definitely something I've learned along the way. I think I've always kind of known that like it's important to have people that kind of believe in you and will support you, and also just people that you can look up to and share ideas with. But I don't think I understood the full importance of it until even just recently. Like it's just made me realize that, you know, a lot of people are missing out on it, and they're kind of shutting themselves off from it when there could be so many more opportunities for them if they really got into like
really
building
their community.
Yeah, building community for themselves. So
And when I think about building a community, I also think about like investing in relationships, investing in people,
Yes.
and taking time to meet with people and give back without the expectation that you're going to get anything.
Yeah,
Like
for
I really
sure.
think that that's part of community building.
For sure. You can't have any expectations. And I think once you can get to that place of just being yourself and then connecting with people, and if you have a way of like helping them and just doing that because you want to and not because you think that they can give something back to you.
And have you built your business through social media?
Pretty much
I
almost
find this fascinating.
Yeah, almost
people who build it.
almost
Maybe I'm just
exclusively.
older than everybody that I've interviewed so far. But
Well, okay, but in saying that, so building it through social media, but I have always taken those relationships offline. So for example, when I started Vancity Business Babes, I started the Instagram page, and then I would reach out to people. I'd find people on Instagram, and I would reach out to them, and I'd say, hey, like I love what you're doing. Can I buy you a coffee? Can I, tell you a little bit about like my idea with what we're doing with Vancity Business Babes? I'd love to hear your feedback, and if there's any way you want to collaborate. So I would do that like again and again and again and again and again. So I wasn't just building those relationships just over social media. I was building them.
You were connecting through social media and then taking it offline.
Building it offline. So I don't want people to get the impression that I sat at home all day
and that was
on
your life.
Instagram, and then I created this huge organization. Like like I was like going for coffee
for sure,
like so much over
and
the
I think
first
that's
little
the
while,
beauty of social media is that it is such a great way to connect. And it's also, I'm finding for me, it's not that often that a client will come through social media. It's happening more and more, I will say, but when it does, it acts as a like amazing filter. Meaning they already really know that they want to work with me. And our values and our design style or aesthetic is already so aligned that the people that I end up working with because I found them on social, or they found me on social media or whatever, it's such an easy working relationship because that connection was already made.
I always talk about like aligning your values and aligning like what you think is important into your personal brand.
Totally.
And like if someone were to like land on your Instagram,
social media kind of is like a resume.
Yeah, it is. And if someone were to like land on your Instagram, would they be able to pick out, say for example, those 3 top values that you have? So say, one of your top values is like family. but in nowhere in your profile
sure.
is there any pictures of your family, then that's not going to come across.
Yeah,
So
for sure. That's
yeah,
really good advice,
just
actually,
being
is
really
really
clear.
making sure that your social media is aligned with who you really are as a person. Okay, so I want to ask you, what's next for Vancity Business Babes? What's happening this year? Where are you taking it? What's going on?
Yeah, so we actually have recently kind of launched a separate sort of, I guess, area of our business, which
Yep.
is Business Babes Collective, which is
Okay.
actually going to be more of kind of an online platform, but also it's going to be open to people from outside of Vancouver. So that's what's happening there. We're planning on having possibly a podcast and maybe a vlog.
Great.
Yeah, and then we also are kind of looking into launching in different cities.
Okay.
So we did our first
Yes,
event
yes.
outside of Vancouver in San Diego in August. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how did it go?
Really well.
Yeah?
It was interesting to see. Like, I didn't know what to expect, I guess, and to see that like women are exactly the same there.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And like they're
We're
super
all cut
open.
from the same cloth.
Yeah, so everyone's like super open, super positive, like really wanting to collaborate, and just there was a really positive like energy there too.
Well, if you guys ever want to collaborate with Danielle, where can they find you?
To be honest, probably through Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's the same
and
as me right now. Send me a DM and I'll answer. Send me
Totally.
an email and it like gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Instagram, you know, I have my personal Instagram and my Vancity Business Babes, as well as Business Babes Collective.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone so much for watching. If you aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that so that you don't miss a single episode. Thank you for being
you
here
so much for
today.
having
This was
me.
so great. And thank you so much to Pacific Yacht Charters for this amazing venue, the cocktails and the food. This has been absolutely wonderful. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye for now. Cheers.
Cheers!
Nice work. Cheers. To another great conversation.
Yes. Thank you so
So
much.
good.
This was fun.
Something like that for sure. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a little sail, but it's a beautiful day.
Like parallel.